There have been so many transfers this offseason, it's very easy to lose track of them. It also doesn't help that the transfer portal goes all the way back to December. After a wild couple of months, I thought I would help refresh your memory and remind you of all the great quarterbacks that have transferred this offseason, and where they're going to be playing next year. Yesterday, I posted a video talking about 15 of them. Well, here's about 10 more. Before we get to today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel, so make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. It's pretty crazy that Boise State is going to have the #1 recruit from the 23 class on their squad next year. Malik Nelson entered the transfer portal in December, leaving USC after just one season. He sat behind Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Caleb Williams and Miller Moss, and was their third-string quarterback. In 2023, he attempted only 3 passes. Nelson originally committed to Oklahoma when Lincoln Riley was the head coach. Nelson flipped to USC when Riley took the head coaching job there. As a senior in high school, he was named California's Gatorade Player of the Year, and he was the top recruit of his class. USC already has a pretty loaded quarterback room for 2024, so I guess Nelson wanted to take a guaranteed starting spot instead of battling for one with the Trojans. Yesterday, we talked about Will Rogers leaving Mississippi State and heading to Washington. Well, taking his place will be former Baylor quarterback Blake Shapen. He started 23 games while at Baylor over the last 3 years. In his 3 seasons there, he threw for 5,500 yards with 36 passing touchdowns. His best season came in 2022 when he threw for just under 3,000 yards and had 18 touchdowns. He'll link up with first-year Mississippi State head coach Jeff Lebby, who's considered to be one of the top offensive minds in all of college football. Shapen received strong interest from a number of Power 5 programs, but he wanted to go to Mississippi State. Needing a new starting quarterback, former Toledo quarterback Daquan Finn is transferring to Baylor. Finn helped lead Toledo to the MAC championship this past year, as he threw for over 2,600 yards and had 22 passing touchdowns. He also added 600 yards on the ground with 7 rushing scores. He started in 2021, throwing for 2,000 yards with 18 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. Then in 2022, he was second-team All-MAC after throwing for 2,200 yards with 23 passing touchdowns. Wanting to avoid being the quarterback 3 next season at Texas, Malik Murphy transferred to Duke. Murphy is the highest-ranked quarterback and the 6th highest-ranked overall player that Duke has received a commitment from since ESPN began ranking players in 2006. Murphy won both of the games he started for the Longhorns this year as a redshirt freshman. He beat both Kansas State and BYU. In those 2 games, Murphy threw for 500 yards and had 3 touchdowns. A name that might surprise you that is still around is former Coastal Carolina quarterback Grayson McCall. He transferred to NC State. McCall redshirted his freshman season in 2019, but started 11 games in 2020 and was named the Sun Belt's Conference Player of the Year. He threw for 2,500 yards with 26 passing touchdowns and only 3 interceptions, while adding 7 touchdowns on the ground as well. He emerged as one of the better quarterbacks in the country that year. He had similar success in 2021 and 2022 as he threw for a combined 5,500 yards with only 5 interceptions. He won the Sun Belt Player of the Year both years as well, giving him 3 consecutive wins. He played in just 7 games in 2023 after a head injury really limited his games, and overall it was his worst season statistically. NC State didn't have great quarterback play last year, and they were still a pretty damn good team, so the upgrade with McCall should be huge for the Wolfpack. A pretty puzzling transfer is former James Madison quarterback Jordan McLoud. He transferred to Texas State. McLoud put up some really incredible numbers for James Madison last year as he won the Sun Belt's Player of the Year award. He's staying in conference, but this seems like taking a step back. For McLoud, this is going to be his 4th different program. He began at South Florida, then transferred to Arizona before transferring to James Madison and now Texas State. This past season was by far his best, as he was one of the top quarterbacks in all of college football. He completed 68% of his passes while throwing for 3,700 yards. He had 35 passing touchdowns with only 10 interceptions. He was also a threat on the ground as he added 300 yards and 8 rushing scores. Overall, McLoud was number 4 in all of college football in total touchdowns responsible for. Again, I don't fully understand his reason for heading to Texas State, but staying in the same conference is sure going to be interesting. Tulane lost Michael Pratt to the NFL draft, so they added former Oregon quarterback Ty Thompson. He's a former top 100 recruit who is considered to be one of the top quarterbacks of his recruiting class. He was one of Oregon's most most highly recruited quarterbacks in the history of the program. Unfortunately, he just never got an opportunity while with the Ducks, as he sat behind some really solid quarterbacks. He appeared in 3 games during his true freshman season in 2021, accounting for 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He appeared in 7 games in 2022, and then another 7 games in 2023, where he threw for 300 yards with 4 touchdowns. Oregon brought in Oklahoma quarterback Dillon Gabriel and UCLA true freshman quarterback Dante Moore from the transfer portal, so it made a lot of sense for Thompson to leave. Now he'll finally get an opportunity to show what he can do as a starting quarterback. One of the oldest quarterbacks in the country is still going to be slinging it, as former Texas Tech quarterback Tyler Shuck transferred to Louisville. He'll be a 7th-year senior who's going to turn 25 in September and has played at both Oregon and Texas Tech since beginning his collegiate career all the way back in 2018. In his 3 seasons with Texas Tech, all of which were cut short by injuries, he went 9-4 as the starter. Overall, he's thrown for over 4,500 yards and has 36 touchdowns in 27 career games. Shuck's final season at Texas Tech ended in late September with a broken fibula. He broke his collarbone early in the 2021 season and then missed 6 more games after re-injuring his shoulder. When he's on the field, he looks like a really good quarterback. The only issue is he never seems to be healthy enough to stay on the field. We mentioned James Madison earlier. Well, they have their new quarterback and former Washington quarterback Dylan Morris. After playing in 4 games his true freshman year, Morris earned the Huskies' full-time starting job in 2021. He was an honorable mention All Pac-12 selection after throwing for 2,500 yards with 15 touchdowns. Following that season, the Huskies brought in Michael Penix Jr. from the transfer portal, and he won the starting job. Morris still opted to stay with the program after losing the starting job to Penix, and he was the backup quarterback for 2 full seasons. Coming out of high school, Morris was a 4-star recruit and was ranked as the number 5 pro-style quarterback of his class. He's shown that he can produce as a starting quarterback, so now he gets a second chance with James Madison. Oregon shocked a lot of people when they landed former UCLA quarterback Dante Moore. They already had Dillon Gabriel come over via the portal, so it's not often you get a second transfer from a quarterback, let alone a highly touted one. Moore was a 5-star recruit in the 2023 class and was ranked number 2 overall. He initially committed to Oregon out of high school, but he flipped his commitment to UCLA. He appeared in 9 games with the Bruins this past year and threw for 1,600 yards with 11 touchdowns. He's going to sit behind Dillon Gabriel in 2024 and likely take over the starting job in 2025. Overall, I think this is actually a really smart move. We've seen Oregon churn out quarterbacks like crazy over the years, so go there, develop for a year, and be ready to roll in 2025 when you're likely named the starting quarterback. Well, that wraps it up for today's video. Which quarterback do you think is going to thrive the most at their new program? Also, is there a quarterback who transferred this offseason that should have been included on this list? If I get enough names in the comment section, I'll make a part 3 to this series, so make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Before you leave, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. I'm posting college football videos all off season, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video and my channel with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.